Do you get it now? I'm saying goodbye. Do you get it now? I'm saying goodbye. It's late. There's no way that we can fix it now. Stay away from me.
We got a ton of questions about our new flat toe setup after the video launch, so we thought the easiest thing to do would be just to do a really quick video to answer all the questions at once. So I have a list here. We're just going to go right down the list, and hopefully this clears everything up for everyone. First off is Air Force One.
So the braking system that we went with was the Air Force One. And the reason was, as most of you know, our rig already had the Air Force One compressor installed underneath with the airline running to the back of the rig. So it was just easier to tap into that as long as the compressor was still good, and it was, so it saved us a couple $100 because we didn't have to have the full Air Force One system. They installed the operating unit under the hood, and they tied that into a actuator on the brake pedal itself. So how it all works, if you don't know about the Air Force One, is it's tied into the rig's air system. So when I hit the brakes inside here, it'll send the signal back to the operating unit. It'll apply the brakes on the Jeep, and it'll slow it down as well. So that's why we went with that.
That's why, what he said.
Yeah. So it's a little more complicated than that, I guess, as far as how it works, but that's the gist of it. It's all air.
All right, so anything you want to say about the Blue Ox? Somebody asked why you chose. Obviously, I did no research on this at all. I let Phil do this job, but why you went with the Blue Ox system?
Well, I researched both Roadmaster and the Blue Ox, but in researching both of them, I found that they both do the same thing for what I was looking for. I wanted a 10,000 pound weight capacity, so they both had that going for them. They were about the same price. What pushed me to the Blue Ox was that on the arms, the arms themselves, the tow bar arms, they actually had a rubber boot covering on them. So I thought it looked cool, and I thought it would keep the arms cleaner from dirt and debris from being behind the rig, so I just kind of went with them.
All right.
That was it in a nutshell.
All right, next, as you saw in the beginning, we did already sell the tow dolly. So those of you who are inquiring, we really appreciate it, but thankfully it went quickly, and it was to one of our subscribers. So thank you very much. You know who you are. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and you know, we were kind of joking when we said in the video, you know, if you know somebody or you're looking for a used dolly, never in a million years did we think that somebody would contact us that way, and they did. So,
but it worked totally.
Yeah, and it's gone.
All right, so next question is people want to know how much money we spent on our flat toe setup.
A small fortune. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, it was. It hurt me.
It was.
To get rid of all this money.
So I called around. I got 3 different quotes on the setup for what we thought we might end up buying, and it ranged anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000, as most of you know. So we went with the $4,000 variety, as they were closer, and it worked with our timeline on being back here.
And it was $4,300.
Yeah, it was $4,300. It was a little less
Total.
than that, but I had filled up propane while I was there, so it pushed me to $43.
And with that being said, remember we didn't have to pay for the compressor. It was already installed. Right. So if you do the whole setup, it might be a little bit more. Not much more for labor to install it and that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, but that's what we paid.
Yeah, the parts themselves weren't that expensive. It was labor, of course. And with me not knowing really how the whole thing went together, I've got a back that just doesn't like to cooperate with me. It was well worth having somebody else, somebody that knows how to do it, to get it done and get it over with. So that's why we went with it. But I have seen videos. I watched videos actually before we did it.
And we have friends that have done it.
And and it can be done if you're technically savvy, you have the patience, you have the time, and you have a good back.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So next, briefly, we're gonna review the pros and cons of each towing. I should say, of the 2 that we've had. So if you want to see the complete list of everything we researched early on, we do have a video for that. Again, I'll put that in the bottom, and it also includes not having a tow car at all. So, but briefly, for us, some of the reasons that we ditched the dolly is the weight, having to carry it or move it around. Phil has to drag it around. Also, how much space it takes up at our site. When it's on the back of the rig, it doesn't look very big, but when you pull that sucker on your pad, it can eat up the whole pad sometimes. And and you have nowhere to put a chair. So
Yeah.
those are the main reasons that we got rid of it. Of course, Phil's back was the biggest one. Of course, the pros and cons for the flat toe now, it's quick, easy setup. I won't be afraid to go up on the dolly anymore. It's faster. And
the most important is I don't have to lug 500 pounds around at our site.
Yes.
I can just disconnect and fold it up on the back of the RV, put the cables and pins in a bag, put it in the basement, and we're done.
The only negative of the flat toe is you cannot back up with the tow bars because you can damage them.
Yeah, you can bend them.
That's the only negative. I know other people might know more, but for us, that's our only negative. And since we didn't really back up the dolly anyway, because we didn't really have a lot of experience backing up trailers, for us, it really is no con at all because we didn't really do it from the beginning. So that's in a nutshell, a quick pros and cons. But again, the video that we did before has a long list of pros and cons for each tow method.
And I do appreciate all the comments that we got on tips anywhere from you might want to put some locking pins on because
and
they
the locking
walk.
pins are on our list. We were going to say, because a lot of people have mentioned that in the comments and as well as private messages about cars being stolen off the back of rigs and the pins being stolen and cars messed with. We will be getting locks, and thank you very much you guys for letting us know that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's I had briefly heard and read about the locking pins, but I didn't think, because we would be with it all the time, I didn't think that it would be a big deal. But we didn't think about when we stopped somewhere and we both went into a restaurant or the store.
Yeah, or even overnights.
Yeah, that somebody could come and pull the pin. And because the car is already in neutral, they could just pull it up. If they had a tow set up, they could push it back without you even knowing about it and then hook it up and take it. So
thanks to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so the next, I do want to briefly talk about the brake on the car. When we were going through the 19 steps, I'm sorry I confused some of you guys. The brake is released for towing. We will not have the emergency brake in. The reason some of you guys missed it is because I actually didn't have a video shot of that, so it went to Phil talking. So if you were just kind of going through it, it looks like we missed that step, but that is one of the steps. So we will not be towing the car with the emergency brake on. That would be really bad.
And we're going to add a slap wrist bracelet to the steering wheel.
Because you know we love them.
Yeah, to remind us to check the parking brake and to check all the attachments, the pins and the connections and all that. So we will do that.
And always, we will continue like we did before with the dolly. The last thing we do before we pull away is to check all the lights on the car and make sure the tires are rolling as we pull forward a little bit. So instead of just the back 2 tires on the car, now I'll make sure all 4 tires are rolling and there are no brakes on or no problems, because the last thing we want to do is drag the car behind us.
Right.
All right, so next let's talk about mileage. Is mileage accrued with this towing method on this car specifically?
No.
So that's an easy one. We have the Trail Hawk in case you don't know, so we don't have to worry about mileage.
Yeah, so we researched that just to make sure. All the forums that I've looked at said no, you will not accrue the mileage. We did tow it home from the shop the other day, and I noted what our starting mileage was on it there, and when we got here, no mileage had accrued. So we were good there.
Sweat.
Another thing I do want to add is there were a lot of comments about the dreaded Jeep death wobble. And it appears that the 2019 Jeep Cherokee does not have that issue. Mopar, Fiat Chrysler, and Mopar, I guess they're all the same, fixed that after, I guess, 4 years of complaints. The 14 to the 18 experienced it and needed a specific wiring harness. The 2019 did not. So once we get on the road, we'll confirm that. But in our short 5-mile drive home,
very short,
40 miles an hour, we didn't experience a death wobble.
No problems.
So we're good. But we did look into it, and from as far as I can tell, we don't need it, nor does the 2019 require it.
Okay. All right. So the last thing on my list is our bikes. A lot of you noticed that the bikes were no longer on the back of the RV because, of course, our the harness, all that stuff. Is it a harness?
No, the receiver. The hitch.
It's all different. Obviously, we can't use the same one. So that is a work in progress.
Yeah. So on our last setup, we had a 2-inch ball in the main receiver, and on top of that was a open 2-inch hitch receiver that I could put the bike rack in. Now I am trying to find, and I think I have, research is still ongoing. I think I found a dual hitch receiver that I can use to put both the tow bar in and the bike rack on top, because I'd still like to carry it between the rig and the tow vehicle. I just don't feel comfortable with it hanging on the back of the Jeep back there.
Yeah.
So just something I'm researching, and I'm researching for a dual hitch receiver rated at 10,000 pounds. I want it the same as the tow bar itself.
But we'll see, and we'll let you guys know once we get that up.
Right.
So, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think, and I tell you, this video has it garnered a lot of comments from you guys. And again, like I said, we were just happy as all get out that we had a new setup and that the Dolly was leaving us soon, that we totally forgot some of the things that went along with the complete flat toe setup. So we hope this answers some of those comments.
But that being said, we do appreciate all the information that we get from you guys. So that was one of the big reasons that we started a YouTube channel. We are newbies, and we knew there was a wealth of knowledge out there. And to be honest, we didn't really know anybody who RV'd. Did we? Well, we knew one couple really with an RV, but they don't full-time RV. So, and they were newbies just like us. So other than that, we didn't really know anyone. So you guys are a wealth of knowledge for us, and we really appreciate you guys. So, so stick around with us, that being said, and share more knowledge. So hit that subscribe button so that way you'll know when we put out new videos and you can share more info with us.
Yeah, and keep the comments coming. We love them, and this video in particular was very eye-opening on the fact that we had done our homework prior to getting this set up. We just were a little overzealous in doing the video.
Well, I think the problem is I usually make all the outlines for the videos, and I didn't research this topic. I'm a big researcher, and I left...
So this is my fault?
No, let me finish.
Okay.
I made the outline, but I didn't have all the info. So I should have let you do the outline, because he really knows all the info about the flat toe setup. So that would have made much more sense, and we probably wouldn't have left stuff out if we'd have done it that way. So in the future, when I assign Phil research, we'll let him also outline.
Yeah, I have my template now. Yeah.
All right, so thanks again for watching. I hope this answers a few questions for you. Again, hit that subscribe button.
Give us a thumbs up if you haven't done that, and hit the notification bell.
And we will see you on the road.
Dude, kiss.
All that's going to show up.
Under the hood.